Hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
Hey,
It's good. Hey, G, what it do?
good over here with some iced water, ready to go.
What's up, T Street?
What's going on? What's going on? Somebody say ice.
Somebody
ice.
say ice.
Hey, look. Hey, I don't hear the baby rattle tonight, so I think we're gonna
Awesome.
be good.
Well, I mean, my man Trey's yet to come on, so let's see what type of fragrance he's working with today.
Yeah, this the norm. This the norm. You know, before I got on here, I was watching a Vlad TV interview with Smokey Robinson, and the joint like 2 hours long, but it's a dope interview. I'm not even finished the whole thing, but just his history and his life and everything is super interesting, bro.
Yeah, man, I think now more than ever we're seeing people firsthand telling what they've been through. You know, we only get like a little glimpse of it, but to get like the whole story behind it is amazing.
Exactly.
What goes into these people's careers and what their lives were. It's really interesting stuff.
Did y'all watch the Super Bowl?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, look, when I ain't gonna lie, when Jalen Hurts, I wanted Philly to win, right?
Me too.
And so when he turned it over and threw the interception, when he fumbled it, and they ran it back for a touchdown, I couldn't even watch it no more. My anxiety couldn't take it, bro.
Oh man.
Yes, indeed.
I know that's. I don't know why I get like that.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
You
indeed.
care
Trey,
a lot,
what
so.
it do? Snap?
What's up, baby? AT, relax, man. AT, relax. Relax, baby. Relax.
Hey, you sound clear. You sound
look at
super
that.
clear. All
Where's
right,
the ice? You got the ice water? No baby rattles.
RELAX.
Hey, you sound super clear.
Relax.
What's good?
Hey,
you watch the
man.
Super Bowl, Trey?
Of course I did, boy. That boy Mahomes. I should have bet. I didn't bet.
He's a
bro.
bum.
I
Overrated.
said Mahomes.
Overrated.
I said Mahomes, bro. Mahomes, bro. Right now, already, Mahomes is the greatest, bro. He's the greatest, bro. He's the greatest. He is him. He's him already.
No.
The boy,
Jalen
the
was
boy,
showing.
15 years old. The boy, 15 years old.
Jalen outplayed him.
Yeah, Jalen outplayed him.
That's what
Jalen-
everybody was saying.
100%.
Listen, man. Jalen is the dude that's gonna be pretty good, but he ain't gonna be Mahomes though.
Let me explain something. Jalen is Nas and Mahomes is Jay-Z.
Oh, here you go. Hey, look, here you go, Tim. Here you go. I knew it. I knew Nas. Hey, look, I knew Nas had to come up tonight. There you go. Come on, Trey.
Rightfully so.
Come
Hey,
on,
what are
baby.
we-
So.
What are we
Rightfully so.
doing? What are we
Just speaking
doing?
the truth. Speaking
I already
the truth.
knew. But look, so
Come
look.
Go right ahead.
We're going to get into tonight's topic, right? And I think this is our 4th or 5th pod. We're doing so many I can't keep up, so I think that's a good thing. Tonight's topic is going to be relationship. It's titled Lovers, Friends, and Marriage. And with this episode, we're going to get into how it was with our single life, how it was when we were in relationships, aspects of that. And then we're going to get into how it is and how it feels and everything that comes with marriage, right? So, with that being said, when we were planning the episode, right? Let me stop this background music real quick. So, when we was planning this episode, I was just trying to think of, think about what I was going to talk about. And this is not for nothing. I was like, dang, I got stories and stuff like that, but I got to make sure I don't say anybody's name. I'm not trying to put anybody out there and all that type of stuff. No, I thought about that because
You and me
sometimes
both.
when you get into the pod, you
Yep.
get zoned out.
Yep.
There's a couple pods that I just said names, and I'm like, hey,
Yeah,
but
man.
I'm getting so into it that I'm not really paying attention like that.
Yeah, man.
But when I was, go ahead.
I feel like, I had the same problem because I kind of had to revisit how we did the last pod because I gave up a lot. And I'm like, I don't think that was the best way. It was honest. It was good because it felt like I was just talking to my friends.
Yeah.
Which we do. But it's almost like I forgot there's people listening. I'm like, woof, giving away too much.
Okay. But check it out, guys.
Names.
Yeah, but check it out. But check
What'd
it
you
out.
say, T? You said name names?
I said name.
Yeah,
names.
T ready for that. But check it out. So just like I said, it's all about the intent,
True.
right? It's all about the intent. and it's coming from a good place, and you're trying to actually convey a message. So I don't see anything, you know what I mean,
No,
that
I feel what you're
was
saying. It's not,
disrespectful.
yeah,
You know what I
you
mean?
right.
True.
That's all it
It's
is.
not like we
True.
doing it with
Of
ill
course not.
intent, ill
Of
intent.
course
So
not. Of course
that,
not, man.
that
Of course.
it's all good. So I was thinking about relationships and stuff like that, right? And the first thing that I thought about was like, I thought to myself, like, do I feel like when I was younger, or just period, have I been like a single type of guy, or like a relationship type of guy? Did I enjoy more being in a relationship, or did I more enjoy being single, right?
Mm.
And when I think about it, I enjoy both, right? But I was the type of person that I enjoy both. I ain't, but I was the type of person that when I when
Not at the same time. Not at the same
no,
time.
not at the same time. Not at the same time.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
you
I'm
gotta clear
saying.
it up. You gotta clear it up.
I did enjoy my single life to the fullest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
As you
but
should.
one thing about me is that I didn't when it came, I haven't been in that many relationships, right? So I probably
Okay.
can count maybe like 3 serious relationships. And even when I was young, if you was going to be where I say you my girlfriend, I took that seriously. So I
Got it.
have had a bunch of
Right.
friends, but I wasn't a guy that was just going from relationship to relationship just to be in a
Right.
relationship, man. That wasn't
Okay.
me. That wasn't me,
So
bro.
I
so
definitely understand that.
go ahead, T.
Now, I was saying I definitely understand that. I'm a person like you said. I like both single relationship, but I lean towards the single side
Mm-hmm.
because, as I've said before, I don't like people. So it takes me a long time when it comes to a lady that I'm interested in. It takes me a long time to truly trust that person enough to say, to approach the topic of being monogamous with somebody.
For
So,
sure.
it's a lot for me. It takes a lot. And you know how the stigmatism where a mother or a father will want their daughter to wait a
Right.
while before
Right.
they get into a relationship.
Yeah.
I'm the
Right.
person. It may take 3, 6, maybe even a year before I decide, you know what, I want to rock out with you.
I feel you on. I feel you on
Dang,
that.
that's a long time.
But
It
you
don't
know
take
what?
me that long.
Hey, Trey gonna bun him up. What? 2 weeks in?
Well, listen, man. Listen, I know what I want, and look, and listen. First of all, relax. Everybody, just to relax. Take a seat, okay? First of all, when you know what you want, you go after it. I'm a Taurus,
Okay.
okay? So it's everything or it's nothing, okay? You guys
Meaning
like how I did
what?
that, right?
Meaning what though? But meaning
Meaning,
what?
meaning that I'm all in. I'm all in. I already made the decision, right? So meaning that okay, cool. So this is the one that I'm gonna lock in on, right?
Okay.
And so we're gonna go all in. Super high passion to start, terrible ending, right? That was my younger years,
I
right?
got you.
Crash and burn, right? But that was my 20s, and you know what I mean. Like I can say like that's what your 20s is for, but some people get married early, man. Like they're much more mature in certain areas,
They may think
right?
so. Go
They,
ahead.
yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah,
may
but
think so.
but but some people they get married like when they 2021, and then in they 40s and 50s they still married to them. You know what I'm saying? Me, I wouldn't have been nobody's good husband in my 20s
Right.
at
I couldn't
all,
Right.
imagine that, bro.
bruh. I would have been the worst in the world,
Yeah.
right? So luckily, and we'll touch on this later. Luckily, it's when you mature as a person and you find that person that makes you want to do better, makes you want to level up. A lot of people have that, but they don't understand like the severity of that human being that's giving them time, giving them time to get themselves together, right? With your maturity wise. And so luckily, and we'll touch on it later, I got married in my 30s because I wouldn't have been, I wasn't ready in my 20s as far as relationships. In my teenage years, I was savage. It
Yeah.
was savagery all
Yeah.
over the place. How about you? How about you, AJ?
I mean, so I started early out there, right? And I was single. So to the original point, right? When I was younger, I've only been on what I call 3 relationships, like actual relationships. But I was out there, man. Like I didn't know it until I was like in my early 20s. This term called existentialism, which is basically doing whatever feels good at the time. You know what I mean? With good intentions, but you doing whatever feels good at the time. So I was getting to know, being a young single man, just getting to know people, different cultures, different areas, different women from everywhere. I had a great time. I made a lot of friends out there, let's say, right? But to your point, I started having children before I can, legally drink in the United States of America, right? I had 2 children before I turned 21. And that relationship, like Trey was saying, that was just not a good relationship overall. I was still a kid, regardless of how mature I was and how many great things I was doing. I was still a kid. You don't become an adult until you're like in your late 20s. And, now being married, when I started turning like in my 30s, I wouldn't have done it any other way because like Trey said, I would have messed it up. 100%. I would have messed it up. I don't think I would have been ready to be a good husband.
Not at all.
What about you, E?
So I was thinking like, I'm like, all right, I would think to myself like, why didn't I? Why wasn't I in a lot of relationships, right? And what determined what made me feel like a person was like, y'all know how I go. You meet a girl and kind of soon you can determine like, would I bun her up or just something I'm just going to hit and I'm just put it out there like that. I mean, that's just how a lot of us think. Well, I'll speak for myself. That's how I think, right? Or thought.
Gotcha.
And so I was trying to think to myself, like, what attributes to a woman would make me do that, right? Or make me pick which one would make me pick either one. And when I was growing up, a lot of my friends would say that I was really picky and that I wanted a certain type of girl. And it wasn't that. It's just I know I like what I like, but I was a little picky. And I'm gonna tell you about a time where I can understand when my friends were saying that I was a little overboard or a little over the top. So I had met a young lady. And I can't remember where I met her, but long story short, she had we talked on the phone or whatever, and she was coming past my apartment, and I had saw her when I got her phone number, and she was attractive, but it's not like I got to spend a lot of time with her. And when she got to my house, to my apartment, when she came in, she had flip-flops on, right? And bruh, she was cute, but her feet were so big. Damn. That I couldn't. No, seriously, like, and so she sat on the couch and we talking. And she's attractive, right? And I couldn't. Her feet wasn't even ugly. They wasn't, but they were just so big. And I'm talking and we having conversation, but every while we talking, I keep looking down.
Hey, bro, she kept moving her feet, dog. She kept moving her feet too.
And it was just like, and it was like that was a deal breaker. That was a deal breaker for me. So I'm thinking, was I immature, or what was it?
No,
because
you weren't.
She was cute, but her feet was just gigantic. And then, no, serious. And then when we was talking. She told me that this is the crazy part. She told me that her nickname, she had a nickname. I ain't gonna say it because I don't want to point the person out, but her nickname was like
Sasquatch.
It was like Cricket. Her nickname was Cricket.
Oh, damn.
And by her having a nickname like that, she was cute though. But if you got a nickname Cricket and then your feet are gigantic, when we talking,
she was a hybrid. No, she was a hybrid.
When we talking, it was just weird. You know what I mean? And I look back.
I'm being honest. Did she wear them Astro boots that everybody's rocking?
No.
This was years ago. She got that WNBA contract.
She didn't even have no shoes on. That's how big her feet were. She couldn't even find shoes.
She had the attributes, but to make a point is I think back then I was a little immature, I guess, when it comes to stuff like that. But in terms of what I felt like would determine if I wanted to really date a person or if this was going to be a friend, I think the first thing I looked at, or one of the things I looked at is if the female talked to a lot of guys, right? And if I felt like you was like on the scene or dealing with a lot of guys, or not even a lot, but just where it just seemed like you was out and about all the time, I think that was a deterrent for me getting into relationships.
Yeah.
So that's how I was with that.
No, but you bring up a good point though, right? Like, because you were a kid. How old were you when that happened?
Oh man, this was probably like 23, man.
You're a kid. You know what I mean? Like, I know that we felt like we were grown, and at the time we probably thought we were grown, but we weren't grown. Looking back, we were children. So it's regardless if it was our feet or whatever, it was going to be something.
True.
You know what I mean? And then that's why, you know, they say you fall in love with the flaws. So if you can live with the flaws and love the flaws, then, you know, there's nothing there. You know what I mean? And look, you got yourself your wife, you have a beautiful family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, we can joke about it and everything now, but, you know, like if it wasn't that, it would be something else. You know what I mean?
True.
It's just your body, your soul telling you that's not the one.
And it's called navigating through the minefields. Okay. That was finding out what you don't want. Right. And so the best thing is, you know, you didn't lock that one down. Like, that wasn't like a long-term thing. And that's you finding out what you like. Like, you ain't really know it until you saw. I was like, oh no, bro, trust me. The one that I thought was gonna be the one in my late teens and early 20s, bro. She took them shoes off. It was Cleveland Cavaliers playoffs.
Damn.
And you feel me? I mean, like, bro, Brad Daugherty, size 22.
Damn.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
But I didn't know that I was that turned off by that, like with the vampire feet, right?
Damn.
Like I can't do the Lost Boys.
So tell me
I can't do the Lost Boys feet, bro.
So tell me
I can't do it.
So
Sorry.
But what determines if a woman, if you feel like that this woman could be more than a friend? What is it about? What is how do you friend zone? Or when I say friend zone, where y'all may hang out and do y'all thing, but this is not somebody you would be in a relationship with, opposed to somebody that's like that. You know what? I can see this as my girl. What determines that for you?
Man,
AG, go ahead. You go take it.
That's difficult. It's a feeling.
Yeah.
It's a straight up feeling for me. To be honest, what I look for has nothing to do with the woman most of the time. Because I want to know if they, you know, if they can deal with me and my bluntness, my asshole personality at times. If they can deal with that and still want to be around me, then, you know, those are points for her. Because I know me and my mouth, it doesn't matter how nice I may be. It doesn't matter how warm and caring and giving that I can be. The asshole will come out. Can you deal with the asshole? If you can deal with the asshole.
That sounded hilarious.
That
sounded hilarious just now how you said it.
Hey, look, T. Well, look. Well, what if she bring that right back to you?
I like a feisty. I like somebody that's feisty.
I like the tussle.
I do. I like a feisty woman, and I love it. And I'll let them get their way to a certain point.
You'll let them get, and then what? See what happens?
Then I have to show them who is leading the ship here. Who's the man?
I love it.
It sounds bad,
talk.
But
no, I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean,
it's
bro.
the alpha talk.
Yeah, but that's what it is. I mean, I love a feisty woman. You know, if you're a little feisty, me, that's good. That's cool.
For me, that's a good question, right? And to me, like, when I was out there, it was like I had a woman that if I wanted to hang out and like have a good conversation, there will be somebody I have for that. If I wanted to go out and have fun and go, you know, experience different places, I had a girl for that. Like, there was like specifics, right? Like, yo, I feel like, you know, going out, stunting a little. I had a girl for that. You know, they got all the attention. Like, there was like women that I had that kind of ticked off a box, but weren't a complete package, right? What I would spend my most of my time with is a woman that had all of it. that's who had most of my time, that I can actually engage in conversation that was beautiful, that carried herself well, that I actually learned something from, and it was hard work and had style to her, some grace. You know what I mean? Entertainment. Right. You know, because those are hard to come by. You know,
for sure. It's far few and in between, bro.
Yeah, yeah. So
I heard that they said that when Trey used to get a girlfriend, that none of his friends would hear from him no more. That he was
that may or may not be true. I was gonna say,
no, that's what I heard though. No, that's what I heard though.
Rumor
that's what I heard though.
Rumor has it.
Tell you, like, no, but that's funny though.
I know guys it's just
like no, but true. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. I was the type of dude where this is the type of I would go missing, and then wherever we go, she was with me. Like, I was so funny like that. It was just so funny, man. And one of our friends, Junior, he would tease me. No, like seriously, he would tease me. But it's just so funny because it was like I didn't notice I was doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the funniest part. You know what I mean? Like I said, bro. I'm a Taurus. I'm a Taurus. We do everything. Like, everything is like on level 10. You know what I mean?
I could maintain both. Like, if I had a girl, see, with me, I would love being with my girl, but at the same time, I always made time for the fellas though. Like, I could never be a guy that was just so engulfed with my female that I didn't do anything else.
Right.
Like, didn't hang out. Because you know, when you do that,
true.
They get used to that. Yep. And then when you do want to do something, they feel like you actually
try to shut you down
because you didn't establish what you were supposed to do. And I'm gonna tell y'all something that I noticed that when you young, right? When you younger in a relationship, at least for me and a couple people I know, it's like the younger you are, the more of a woman pleaser you try to be.
Yeah.
When I say a woman pleaser, let's just say like, so for me, right? So look. So you weren't like that? So what I mean by that? So look,
everybody relax.
I'll let you get that off. Because I want you to finish.
Okay. All right. So what I mean by that is, for me, right? When I was younger and I smoked, right? If I met a female that I felt like, without me knowing, and I felt like she wouldn't like a guy that probably smoked, I wouldn't let her know I smoked. Right?
Okay.
If I felt like she didn't like a guy that really cussed that much, when I'm around her, I wouldn't cuss that much. Stuff like that. I was like that when I was younger. And as I got older, I started feeling like, look, man, I'm going to be me. And if she like me, she like me. If she don't, she don't. I don't know. When I was young, I was like that. Maybe y'all went hard and y'all off the break. Let me know. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, let me tell you, I was a delicacy, bro. Let me tell you, I started early, so I had my groove. And look, Trey will tell you, because he remembers me from high school. He saw how I moved, so I'm not exaggerating a damn thing. I was myself.
Okay.
And I was...
he was. Yo, Alec was wild, bro. Like he was like, it was no... Like, not, I mean, he was not wild, but he was just so expressive. Right,
was wild.
Right. Okay. But he didn't have, like, he was just so natural. That's the word, right?
Yeah. Okay.
He was just so natural. He had the big black puffy coat. You know what I mean? He was a hip hop dude, and he was so cool.
The Eddie Bed, or y'all ain't wear Eddie Beds.
Yeah, North Face. I had the North Face.
He had a big black puffy North Face, and he was loud and he was cool. You know what I mean?
I was out there, bro.
And he was out there. But go ahead.
But what I did, what's kind of funny is I wouldn't say I toned it down the older I got. I'm still myself, but I was out there. Like, I was really, really wild. I didn't care, because my expression, because when I hit about 13 or 14, that's when women really started digging me. You know what I mean? And then, because I would go back and forth from back home to here, and I had grown women hollering at me. So you get big headed. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm not tripping off of you when they didn't stop making women. You know what I mean? Like, every chance
they stop making them.
So every time I walk down the street, I'll meet someone new, and then everybody knows my personality. Even to this day, when we go out, I'm talking to people, and people talk to me.
You very social, bro.
Hey, I'm myself. I'm comfortable in my skin. So, like, whenever we go out, and they'll be like, yo, I want to talk to that girl, I'll go up and talk to them and say, hey, here's my friend. Y'all get to know each other. Because that's just how I've always been, right? Thankfully. But you know, that comes with the good and the bad. You know what I mean? Where you can't necessarily do that when you are in a relationship, because your lady will be like, you know, I don't feel comfortable with that. And you know, it's understanding where they come from, but I'm still going to be myself, you know.
Right.
True.
But when I was younger, I was wild. I did not care. And a big deal breaker for me was when they would try to change me. I'd be like, look outside. You see all these people? You know what I mean? Like, there's you and then there's the people.
There's you and there's
there's nothing about you.
Ocean.
Hey, you said.
Yeah, I would say it. Like, I didn't try to ruin their self-esteem or anything. I'm just trying to tell you, you know, as special as you think you are, you're not that special to me.
True.
You know what I mean? No, there's nobody in this world that can't be replaced.
Right.
That's absolutely a fact. That's absolutely a fact.
That's just how I moved. You know what I mean? That's just how I moved. But I'm not saying it's good as bad, but like, you know, to your point, and I understand that because you guys have respect. I didn't. Like, I was it's also because I would see how certain women would carry themselves, and I'm like, I'm not going to bend over backwards for people that don't deserve it.
Right.
You know, like, obviously there's people you respect, you know, like to E's point, right? There are women, and I had a very foul mouth when I was a young kid. There were women I wouldn't curse in front of because that's what they demanded. You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of person you don't curse in front of because of the way they carry themselves. You will be respectful, right? And I wouldn't necessarily do that so I can get with them. I just did it because it's the right thing to do.
Like,
you know
respectful
type. I wouldn't sit there and blow tree in front of a young lady that carried herself a certain way versus the other one that would be like, hey, let me hit that. True. You know what I mean? Like, there's levels to it, you know? So it's all about
reading the room. You know how to read the room.
Exactly. But I'm not curious because I remember, Trey, when we were in high school, what I remember about you is that you had relationships,
bro.
You know, but I also remember how certain girls used to be after you, how you would play.
I was a professional. You understand? That's when I had hair. I had waves.
Yeah,
I was fly. I was a quiet assassin.
Yeah,
you understand?
This is true.
I was a quiet assassin. Go ahead.
I ain't here with T.
I was like you. I want to say while in school, while in elementary through high school, I was more like you. In that somewhere between that 19 to 21 year age range, what did it for me was I had an office job straight out of high school. I had nothing to do, so I'm online all the time. I'm in these chat rooms online early, way before it became a big thing. What I did, I'm introverted, so I'm naturally quiet. What I did through these chat rooms is develop my confidence, develop my game, develop my personality, or at least to be comfortable with showing my personality no matter what. And what I realized through that process is that women don't like nice guys.
For sure.
100%. And then I was like, then I said, okay, I'll just be myself because I'm not really that nice. Well, I'm not nice all the time. And the funny thing happened. It's like the worst attitude that I displayed, the asshole that I always say that I am. When that asshole came out, women didn't like it, but they loved it. I didn't understand it,
right? Yeah.
Because
how does that work?
I know, bro.
They would be mad at certain things I would say, but it was like it kept their attention. So it kind of tricked me out. But I was like, all right, well,
you know, see what I noticed, man, and that's funny you say that because I've come to that conclusion as well. Because like when you start not really caring, is when they start, you know, kind of be like. The less attention you give them, the more they want from you. And I think that what I noticed is, and I don't think as men we talk about this enough, regardless of the quality of a woman gets hit on or approached either in person or virtually a ton of times a day.
10 million
No matter
times.
how fly we think we are, which we are, I'm not going to sit here and tell stories now, but as much as attention we get, any quality of woman, regardless of
10 million
age,
more.
Size, whatever, presentation,
10 million.
whatever, 10 million off break.
10 million.
So they're getting bombarded with it. So that it's to the point where they kind of have their defense up. So when they notice nobody's giving them the same attention, they're like, well, what the hell is this about?
Definitely. I was
They get
always the
curious.
dude. I was always the one that if everybody was on you, I'm
Yep.
probably not gonna speak to you.
Right.
But you know what I thought about while we were talking, right? So when I was single, I had this thing where, all right, if I go out, right, let's say that I take a female out. If I pay 3 times and the 4th time you don't offer, or you don't offer the tip or anything like that, I would just cut you off. Because I felt like, especially if we haven't done nothing physical, I don't know if you really digging me like that.
That's big.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I know a lot of women that will just hang out with guys just to get free meals and stuff like that. And so it wasn't that I couldn't pay. Suckers. You know what I mean? It wasn't that I couldn't pay or didn't want to.
Right.
But after a few meals, if you're not even offering the tip or nothing,
right,
I would cut you off. I was straight like that.
And
so
you did the right thing, E.
Yeah, I mean,
that is a proper method of operation.
That's how I would go. Now, was y'all with paying for every meal, and it didn't matter if they, or all guys are different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Go ahead and handle that. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't for that. But no. First of all, that's very situational, right? Because it's all in what you're in it for from the get go, right? So E off the bat, just hearing how he's explaining things, he was more mature than me. He had a strategy.
Hey.
My strategy was savagery.
Hey.
Right? Because like on my plan, you know how you got the bullet points? My bullet point was savagery, right? Like that's it. It's just goals. So I did not really start, but the best thing that I did was I never committed when I didn't feel it. Right?
Good.
So we can go hang out, we can have a great time, but at the same time, if the trust wasn't there, now this is as I was maturing in my late 20s, mid 20s, being in love, quote unquote love, but knowing that, listen, I don't trust this person. Your innate wisdom is trying to give you signals that it's going this way, but it's not a long-term project, right?
True.
So I would be in relationships, but I knew that this person wasn't long-term. Meeting fantastic people. The later I got in my 20s, meeting great people.
Yeah.
But them wanting something that I knew I didn't want. So I didn't lie to them. Right? I didn't lie to them with saying, yeah, I want to be in a committed relationship. Because of the fact that I knew that you would end up getting hurt worse later. So just making those tough decisions. But as far as the going out, things like that, you find out really what your match is as you go, right? Like as you get older, theoretically you should. But as far as the paying and stuff, yeah, of course we would hang out. I would pay, but at some point the universe is going to conspire to be like, yo, this ain't it. This ain't it. You see what I'm saying? And so your steps are going to be ordained, but you got to follow the process. You can't force something. I think a lot of relationships, they force certain things that they're really not feeling, right? They're reacting off of the emotion, right? The girl end up getting pregnant, right? That's why you got so many single. I'm sorry, I'm about to go somewhere else.
Go ahead.
That's why you got so many single parents, bro. Because it's like everything is happening so fast in microwave. It's like you ignoring the stop sign, right? Then you wind up having sex and then it becomes a sex thing, but it's no love and it's no respect because everything is so fucking easy. Everything is easy.
Yep.
And then the pregnancy and then the child and you're not taking care. And so everything gets broken down because of the fact that you're not listening to the signals like, yo, you know what? I'm not even together yet. I can't take care of you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I could barely pay for these meals. But you do it anyway and you putting yourself in a situation that is not natural. You're forcing it. You understand what I'm saying? But go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say, but as a young, see, you talking from the perspective of how you thinking of it now,
right?
Yeah, but from a young person, you don't even think like that. You don't even think like that.
But when you young, your mind doesn't really go there.
You're right,
like
bro.
that. You know
You're
what I
right,
mean?
bro.
Like,
Absolutely,
that, man. I wouldn't say that
to a certain degree. You know what I mean? Like you speaking,
to a certain degree.
Trey speaking like from a super mature, and I felt like I was mature for myself at a young age. But back to the paying for meal thing. Do you think that's petty that I had like where it's like, okay, after 3 meals and that's saying that we had to do something within 3 meals, but it's like if we haven't done anything,
you're right.
I took you out 3 times, you haven't even offered or tip or anything. How do I know that you really into me? Do you think that's petty?
There you go.
I don't think it's petty. I did a similar thing. I didn't have a number on how many meals before I would do this, but what I would do, go out, whatever number date it may be, we go out and I'll say, oh shoot, I forgot my wallet.
Hey.
Depending on how she responded, made me realize or made me decide what box I'm gonna put her in.
Hey.
And I had some that was like, nah, we gotta go back and get that. I had some that offered to pay. The ones that offered to pay, that's more. That's points. That's points for them. I like them more. Shout out to my homegirl KB.
Hey,
if you ever hear this, back in the day, I remember we went out. I paid all the time. I did the wallet thing. She was ready to pay. I was like, nah, keep your money. Next time we go out, it's a big thing. We out, get some drinks after the movie, whatever. And she tries to pay. I'm like, nah, I paid already. So we leave. We're talking in the car. She puts the money in my pocket, right?
That's good.
Player.
That's dope.
But I realized it. I realized it was there, and we were separating. Now, full disclosure, she had a boyfriend, so she was going. Our night ended because she had to meet up with him. So as I'm leaving out of her car, because she drove this day, as I'm leaving out of her car, I felt the money in my pocket. So I had to roll down the window, talk to her a little bit more. I just dropped the money and she didn't see it. So by the time I got in the house, I called her back. I said, once you stop, look under the passenger seat or look over there by the passenger seat on the floor.
That's game. That's game.
No, that was
game
that
right
was
there,
dope.
T.
I got that's dope. Go ahead, T.
Now I have a whole thing about if I'm able to pay, then I'm going to pay.
Yep.
But I also never wanted to be used for money. I was fortunate to have a good job when I was younger. I had a lot of money. I spent a lot of money. Had a nice car. To me, it was a nice car. Friends from the neighborhood, when I bought my Maxima back then, would be like, "Hey, let's go out the city, get girls to fuck us because of your car."
Hey,
and I was always like, I didn't want somebody to be interested in me because of something I had, and anybody that was, I just wasn't with them. I couldn't do it.
Nah, I feel you.
I guess my morals or standard. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I never wanted to be used, and I always felt like guys out here tricking. I'm not going to trick. I don't care how much money I have. I'm not tricking.
Nah,
you an alpha male.
But T always had good morals, though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Not to be funny, you know what I'm saying? And that Maxima he had was legend. It was legend. It was legend.
I got a quick story.
Go ahead. I got to build off that because I want to say what I did. I mess with women that would fight me to pay. Because let me tell you, like, depending on what kind of woman, I had a lot of professional women that always told me they didn't need a man and, they don't need this, they can do for self. There will be the ones that I had to be like, no, I'm paying, because that's how they moved from an early age, even back in high school, women that were independent. Because there's two kind of people, right? Those that create the money or create the opportunities and those that are given. What I've noticed is those that are given, whether it be from their parents or someone else, they assume that that's going to be given to them and they don't try to, give. But those that are independent and they're movers and shakers, they're the ones like, no, I got it. I got it. No. But one thing is, it's also cultural, because a lot of the women that I was dealing with at the time, because it was, different women from everywhere. It depends, because in my culture, right? If I say, look, we're going out, let me take you out, I'm going to pay, because I'm saying let's take you out. But what will happen is, if they would be like, yo, I want to go here, can you go with me? I want to go with you here. They ended up paying. So you know what I mean? So I always try to keep the scale even, where they're not paying too much. I would try to make sure that, I would cover, like, to your point, E, like, if we're going out and we're going to dinner, then let me get the drinks. You know what I mean? It's trying to be like beneficial to everybody, where everybody wins, where nobody's being taken advantage of, because that's whack.
For
you
sure.
Know what I mean?
For sure.
But at the same time, there's women that grow up and they're like, they're raised to understand that a man has to take care of you. So 100%. That's the way that their principles, morals, and ethics are. I'm just not with that.
I'm not either, bro. I got a story. I think this is what made me be this way. And this is when I was younger, though. But I was dating this young lady, very pretty, and she was real popular or whatever like that, right? And she and so the times that we hung out, I paid. Maybe it was a couple times. It's so long ago I can't really remember. But it was just one day she called me, and she was like, "Let's go get something to eat," right? So when she said that, these was my words, and I said on purpose. I said, "That's cool." I said, "I'm broke." She said, well, let's still go, right? So in my mind, if you call me and you ask me to go to get something to eat, and I tell you that I don't have any money, right? Then that means that you're paying, right? Hey. So I go pick her up. We eating good, having a good time, and then the bill comes out.
Roof Chris.
And so she was like, "You not gonna pay?" And I was like, "What? Am I gonna pay?" I said, "I told you that I didn't have any money." She said, "When most people say they broke, that mean they got $30 or $40. I said, "No, if I say I'm broke, that means I have no money, right?"
Motherfucker broke me, broke.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So she in the joint, so she gets like upset and she starts making a scene.
Oh shit!
And she actually
did the PG County come out?
Yeah, the PG County came out, and she was with PG County. The PG County came out, and she made like a little scene, and she was like, "I can't believe you!" Like she talking kind of loud in front of everybody, whatever, like that.
You can't have that.
So I'm like, "Damn!" So she gets up and she storms out the restaurant. And now I don't have no money to pay because I was serious when I said I ain't had no money. So now I walk out the restaurant. So now we done ate. We done both ate and skipped out on the bill, bro.
Crushed.
And I think that traumatized me, and I think that's why I always was like, you know what? I'm gonna really find out who messed with me for real. So anyway,
that is traumatizing.
Wait. Did you ever hear from her again?
Yeah, no, we talked. You know how we young. Yeah, we talked about that. You know what I'm saying? But
hey, that was a great scheme to get some free food.
I knew it.
Hey, look, no, we kept talking, but I'm just saying, I think little incidents like that made me say, you know what? All this pain, I'm gonna see who really messed with me, man. I'm not, just jumping out there like that. So anyway,
that's hilarious,
I'm gonna skip through a little bit.
It was a great performance to get some free food, bro.
Hey. Yeah, man, she made a scene, bro. A real scene. I'm in there embarrassed. She ran out in front of everybody. We was young though, probably like 19 years old, something like that.
That's crazy. Right. Taking L, running out on the bill.
So I'm gonna skip forward, right? And I'm gonna get into I don't know how I want to approach this. I'm gonna just start it off with me and my situation, right? I'm gonna get into, I guess, the marriage portion, and I'm gonna make my stories quick because I can talk all day, right?
Hey.
So the bottom line with me and my situation with getting married, I never thought about getting married. Mm-hmm. Marriage was not on my mind. I was into music. I was chasing music. I was very serious about it. And so I didn't even understand the concept of marriage, what marriage was, what marriage would entail, none of that. So we fast forward and I do meet my wife and we end up, my whole perception start changing. But what I'm going to get into, what I'm going to talk about is that when that happened, when I met my wife, she came to the table with a lot. I felt like, right?
Okay.
And I know that sometimes as men, and I hear this from women that say this about men, but I know as us, I know I felt like if I wasn't financially stable, if I didn't have certain things together, I felt like that I could not be a husband. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And at that time, she had a lot more going than me in terms of she's graduated from school. She's working on her master's degree. She had a whole bunch of money saved up. Her credit score was great.
That's all women.
And here I come into the game, and I had my own car, my own place, and everything. But I felt like that I wasn't on her level, and it made me feel I won't call it inferior, but I definitely didn't feel like I was ready for marriage.
Hold up. Real fast, bro. Listen, now, this is for the younger people, right? The younger people, or maybe even the people that's, you know what I mean, that's still out there. Now, finish up the relationship, right? Or whatever it was right before you met your wife, right? And then talk about what made her stand out in the beginning, right?
All right.
What made her stand out in the beginning? Because the actionable steps is what people need to know what to look for, right?
You're right. So let me
talk
rewind.
about that, bro. Go ahead.
So before I met my wife, I probably met 10 girls in a row that was fluke. And when I say fluke, it was just it was weird. They were so fluke to me, or so like I can't put a word on it, but a waste of time that I actually felt like God was trying to tell me that you just shouldn't date right now. And so that's where I was at. When I did meet my wife, it was at work, right? And talk about what made me realize that she was somebody that I would marry. It's weird because we start talking. I don't want to go through the whole thing, but we met at work. I asked her for a number. She gave me her phone number. I thought she was another one of the fluke women because when we were supposed to hang out, she wasn't answering the phone. I called Ed. Was like, Ed, here we go. We got another fluke one. You know what I'm saying? He was like, Ed, give her till 10 o'clock. Give her till 10 o'clock. I'm like, man, I don't want to hear that, man. This is another one the same.
Ed said that?
Hey.
Yes,
I wish he would follow that same advice.
Bro, Ed said that, right? And so I said, okay, cool. I call her. She say, you trying to stand me up? I'm like, here we go. She playing the games. I said, no, I thought you was trying to stand me up. She said, no, I didn't have my phone. So we go out, hang out, and we end up having one of the best times, the greatest conversation. She was much different than what I thought. I thought she was like an uppity type. When I got to know her, she wasn't. That's the first thing that made me like her, Trey, is that I thought she was one way, but by getting to talk to her on the date, we went bowling.
Got it.
For you guys that first dates, bowling is really dope because I learned that the movies, when I learned that young, that's not a good first date.
It's not.
Because you all sit, watch the movie, and you don't do any talking and don't get to know each other.
Quiet.
I was older now, and so we went bowling, and I really got to know her, and that was the first start. What made me know that maybe she would be more than just a friend to me? I know this sounds weird, and maybe I'm old school, but women that cook, I don't know, it's something about it that I love.
Absolutely.
And so when I had went to, she invited me over, and she was getting plates out of the cabinet, and she was cooking. And it was just, I'm not saying I never had a woman cook for me, but something about that time was just,
she's caring, so appealing, bro. She cared about what she's doing.
And it was like she had qualities of a wife. She had herself together. She had, she had qualities of a wife, and it made me start thinking a little different. What it also did was made me get my shit together. What that did was like, dang, she got bringing so much to the table. I need to get myself together. I got my credit straight. I did a lot of things, not to necessarily match her, but just to be like, hey, I'm a man. You can't be the only one that got that shit together.
Yeah, bro. It motivated you, and it's not like you just said it. Like you just said it. That's not the only time somebody cooked for you, right? But it was this particular person. Like everything was matching up, and you like, man, and you're looking at the same situation differently because of who this person is, what she brings, right?
For
And you
sure.
like, damn, like I'm trying to, stay around this situation and see where this thing goes because this feels correct. This feels how it's supposed to go, right? So with me, I had that the young lady that I met right before my wife, man, she was so fantastic. Stop it. She was so fantastic. Now follow me. She was so fantastic and perfect for somebody else.
Wow, that's the magic
Okay,
word
Mm-hmm.
or the magic
bruh,
3 words.
bruh.
Not for
I
me.
saw it. I saw every attribute, everything. Her professionalism, right? Made money, fantastic, nice house, nice cars or whatever. Not excuse me, nice car, whatever. Just everything wanting to give herself to the right man, but I wasn't the right man, right? So man, this is a whole movie that we could talk about at some other time. But fast forwarding is like a lot of times we're in somebody else's way and we don't
True.
know it, right? When we're
Hmm.
single,
True.
we want what they're gonna give us, right? And we're gonna capitalize on it. We're gonna do whatever. We're gonna waste the shit out of their time. That's the problem. A lot of men be playing little boy games. You wasting these women's time. You know that she's not long term for you, right? But she's giving you so much, and you just taking it, and it's like you don't even really got to work for it a lot of the times.
Mm-hmm.
But this particular young lady, what happened was, I was still on Black People Meet, right? This is how I met my wife. I was still
Hey.
on Black People Meet, right? And so I was getting hits, whatever, you know what I mean? But I went into the website like I'm just trying to meet some cool friends. I wasn't in there with just sex, whatever. I'm just
Tell the
trying to meet
truth.
some
Tell the
nah,
truth,
seriously,
right,
bro.
T?
Savagery.
Nah,
Hey,
Savagery.
Trey
Right
Yeah,
there.
nah,
faking
That's
real
what
nah,
that
hard
is.
on
but
this
no,
part right there.
but nah,
yeah,
but
he
listen
is.
to me.
PC'd
But I
out.
told you, gentlemen, it's a seasonal thing. Sometimes it's a season for
Seasonal.
savagery. Sometimes it's a season for, you know what I mean? You gotta clean yourself up a little bit.
True.
So I'm meeting these different females and we having fun. We going out, we hanging out, whatever, whatever. But I'm also meeting females that are ready to settle down. I'm like, no, right? I'm naturally not into that. I naturally wasn't into them, right? So anyway, boom, boom, boom. Everything fast forward. I met a great young lady, wanted to settle down. I just wasn't really into that. Around Thanksgiving time 2008, I got a hit on Black People Meet. I go out on a date. Now this other young lady is still thinking that we're gonna lock it down, but I wasn't committing.
There it is.
Committing, right? So I go out on a date with a young lady and I'm just getting off work. I was doing security. I'm just getting off work. I'm still in my uniform. I didn't want to go home. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna show up in my damn uniform. It's whatever. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna meet, we're gonna have some drinks, whatever, chill. She gonna have to see me in my uniform. Bro, when I was talking to this girl online, when I seen her in person, I was like, wow. And just the conversation, the flow of the conversation, how she looked. She was professional. She was all these things that I didn't even know I wanted and needed. She showed that. Second date, I after our second date, I never went back over the previous young lady's house
There
Hey
it
Trey,
is.
ever because
Trey,
I knew that. Go ahead,
let
T.
me interrupt. Let me
Relax,
interrupt
T.
the story.
Relax, T. Relax,
Relax.
relax, T. Relax, T. Go ahead. Go ahead, T. Go ahead. Go ahead.
After his first date with his now wife, he called me.
Mm.
He said, "I just met the most amazing girl. I'm telling you, T, I'm proposing next year this time. Mark the date."
Hey, I'm proposing.
This is what he told me after the first date. And I
Aggression.
believe him. I believed him
Aggression.
because Trey don't talk like that.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Trey was
I'm psychopathic.
love him and leave him, chew him and spit him out. That's Trey. Trey was savagery, like he said.
Savagery.
Savagery. Savagery.
Cue the theme
So
music.
after our second date, like I knew. But the point that we're trying to make as older men
Oh
is
man,
Oh, now we're in the rec room. But as you got to give yourself time. You
Yes.
got to give yourself time, man. You gotta you have to work on yourself, right? So you could be qualified to meet that person. So you could
Qualified.
be qualified. You'd be like, yo, I didn't even, you know what I mean? Like this conversation, like I'm gonna have to become a better version of me just to be qualified to be in this person's presence because she got herself going on, right? And me having a daughter, it's just like I tell my daughter, and she's 6. I'm like, listen, sweetheart, you're gonna work on yourself 1,000%. Get married in your 30s. I tell her she's 6 years old.
Hey.
But at the same time, take care of yourself. And I tell my 2 sons that. Well, my 3-year-old, I don't tell him nothing yet. But my 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 9-year-old, listen, take care of yourself. Be qualified. Don't waste nobody's time. Whenever it's that time for that situation, right? But listen, explore, travel, be
Mm-hmm.
much more of a grounded, well-rounded person, right? Instead of being so random. You know what I mean? And just having quick sex, and then you know what I mean. You devaluing that whole
Yep.
relationship. Y'all could have grew into something bigger than that. You guys probably should have been great friends instead of sex partners,
Mm-hmm.
right?
True.
But
Right.
at the same time, we jump out there so quick because of the opportunity, right? And it's less words and more action when it should be the other way around a lot of times. So luckily, I was 30 and I proposed 2 years later. But I'm gonna just tell you that I had to level myself up and get on a level that I was not on as a man. And it's okay to say that sometimes, like, yo, I'm not where I want to be, but this person is making me want to get to where I need to be, right? And then, but
Yeah.
but you have to have a goal. You have to have a goal. Just stop being so goddamn random. Just going out to eat. All that shit get old after a while. Then it comes down to business. Then it comes down to, okay, cool. What am I trying to do for myself business wise, right? What am I trying to do? If that woman is on that level and she's trying to help you, that's your signal right there. That's your opportunity to become a better version of yourself to make this thing work and things be equal, right? Mentally, it's a maturation process. She's spending her time on you.
Mm-hmm.
She's taking time out of her schedule for you, and it
Mm-hmm.
ain't just about sex. Yeah, y'all can have sex, but you're not long term to her. You're not long term to her because she's like, well, he ain't really. And when the women lose is when they dumb down to where that men's level is at, and they spending more time than they should. Wind up having babies
Mm-hmm.
by the guy. The guy never levels up because you gave him too much in the beginning. No, make his ass work. Make his ass work for it.
For
Make
sure.
make
One
make
of
him
the
make him. Go ahead. Go
For
ahead. E.
sure. One of the main things is what you have to have, whether it's relationship or marriage. If you really want it to last, you have to have a friendship.
Dope. There you
And if
go.
and if you're not friends with your partner, the chances of it lasting long is is is
Slim
is,
to
is
none.
really slim to none. Y'all have to be friends before anything. You know what I mean? And that's what I believe. To me,
Totally
when you have
agree.
a
Totally.
good friendship
Totally.
with your person, you have a great chance of having a long relationship. And I know I'm jumping around, but I just wanted to get this out for people who are listening and you are dating someone and you're thinking about getting married. I would recommend marriage counseling
Mm-hmm.
because that was one of the best things that me and my wife ever did. Because everything she talked about is everything that came up. You know what I
I
mean?
did
And
too,
so
bruh. I
it
did
was
too.
it was
E.
it was
Yo,
it was
can I?
just it was
I
just
want to
dope.
say something about that, right? I think regardless, if you feel like you're ready to settle down, I need people who are hearing this to understand. Marriage is not, if it don't work, I'll just go get divorced.
Right.
Nope.
You got to think long term. And my advice to you is learn from the OGs. I've been through it because that offers you the best advice. I'm not going to listen to a person that's single. to tell me what it's like to
Hell no.
have a good marriage.
Give me guidance,
First of all,
not advice.
Give me a correct. And the best way to do that is if everybody knows somebody that's been in a long-term marriage. If someone that you know has been in a long-term marriage, it could be somebody in your family, somebody that you know's family, have a conversation with those people and know that sometimes it isn't going to be 50-50 and that a majority of time it's going to be work. But if that person is worth going through all of that to make things right, then that's a person you should marry. Now, if you can't say that, then that's not somebody you should waste any more time, because you're wasting their time and your time. And time is the only commodity you will never get back. So, I mean, like you got to take it serious. You know what I mean? Because you got to get a license to drive. And it takes, you got to do your learner's permit. You got to get a certain amount of hours driving, and you got to take a test. Any idiot can get married. Or any idiot can, like, lay with someone and have children.
There you go.
Just be responsible. Just, do what's right.
Just be responsible. Yeah. And to add on the E's point, like the being friends and just like, it was so funny because and Nikki would tell y'all better. She would tell y'all better. It was so funny when, I don't know, maybe we were dating for like a year or something, and I told her that I loved her, and she ain't say nothing back. That shit was funny as hell.
Oh shit!
That shit was funny as hell, right?
Funny. I don't know about funny.
Yeah,
but no. It was funny because, like me, like I just laughed it off. But she was so together. She wasn't gonna just say it because I said it. Right. She wanted to feel it. So that meant that I'm not just gonna say it because you said it. You know what I mean? She was so much more together than me, so much more professional, just together, just as a human being. I always say she's a much better human being than me, but she showed me so much, and I wanted to reach that level, and that's what successful marriages are. And just to get to the marriage counseling, we had the best marriage counselor, man. And it was one time where we had been to like 2 appointments. It was our 3rd appointment. It was the last appointment. And bro, I got off late and I was like, man, fuck that. I'm not going an hour and a half to another county for a 30-minute session. I'm tired as hell, right? So literally, she's fighting through traffic. She's at the appointment. I'm just getting home, right? So I'm like, yo, and Tino, like, I'm a sicko with showers. I have to take a shower. I have to, you know what I mean? I can't just go somewhere. So I'm like, man, I gotta get in the shower. I got off late, and she was like, and you could hear how much it meant to her, right? I could hear how much it meant to her that I got there. So man, I got in the shower, bro, and I got my ass across town. I got there like an hour and a half late, like after our scheduled time. This man has a booking. This guy is a serious pastor, okay? Man, I got there like an hour and a half, man. When I got there, I was outside the house. I knocked on his door. I was pissed. He opens the door. He whispers to me. He said, "It was a great thing that you still came. That showed a lot." Right? When he said that to me, this is 11, 12 years ago. When he said that to me, I still remember it. So you got to show up, man.
For sure.
You got to show up. You got to show up for you. You got to show up for yourself so your relationship will work. But you got to show up in all different parts of your life.
For sure. I want to get into roles and relationships and marriages. And I also want to get into what I want to talk about also is how do y'all feel about a woman making more than you, right? And so when I was probably like 18, 19, it was a guy who I was working with. He was probably like 50, right? And he was like a supervisor for some other guys. And at the time I'm 18, 19, and he would be like, man, Everett, he would just randomly, just talk to me. He'd be like, man, my wife make way more than me. You know what I'm saying? He said, but guess what? I'm the man in my household.
Hey.
And when he said that, I'm 19, man. I don't get me wrong. I was mature, but I'm not even thinking about.
He sounds just like me, dog.
I'm not even zoning in to what he's saying. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, okay, you the man in your household, whatever like that. And but I understood what he was saying. And as I got when I met my wife, she made more than me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but it
Same.
never bothered me. And the reason
Right.
why it never
There you
bothered me
go.
Because you're
because
an alpha
I'm
male and you're
still
secure.
yes, I'm secure in myself.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm still a man
Mhm.
at the end of the day. And I believe that a man is the head of his household, and that's not determined
Period.
by how much
Period.
money you make, but it is
Right.
determined by how responsible that you are and if you
There it
take
is.
care of
Period.
your household.
There it
So
is.
my thing is, I believe in roles. You know
Yep.
what I mean? I
Mm.
believe that that in this day and time, what happens is a lot of women try to take on a man's role. Some realize it and some don't. You can't
Mm.
have you can't have two dominant people in a relationship for the
Mm.
work. So
Right.
I'm
Mm.
not so sometimes what I'm saying, some women can find it as me being women call it old school, and then some women
Mm.
call it controlling. They'll
Okay.
interpret what a man does as we don't interpret it, but they'll interpret a situation as you're being controlling. But I'm a guy that believes in roles, and when
Mm.
I mean that women have their role in a marriage or relationship, and a guy has their role. And I feel
Mm.
like that a
Mm.
woman can't be overbearing, you can't be disrespectful, you can't do certain things
Nah. Nah.
to a man
Right.
in a relationship and vice versa.
In
You know what I
life.
mean?
Absolute.
In
But
life.
I
Absolutely.
Right. Right.
definitely believe in roles. But I just wanted to ask y'all, how do y'all feel about
So
if the woman makes more than you?
so so check it out. So what I learned last night. What I learned last night watching one of the best interviews that I've ever seen, ever. Like, I'm a documentary guy, I'm an interview guy. What I learned last night, where my man said, when both people are right, it's war. When you're both right, it's a war. But it's peace when one person says, you know what, you got it, you got it, you got that, right? So, meaning that it's a respect level there. It's a respect level where, okay, if I'm making more in my house, that's not something that I go around talking about. It's just I'm doing what my role carries calls for to sustain my household
Mhm.
and to take care of my children and take care of my wife and to take care of my bills, things like that. When we get caught up in that societal bullshit about about money,
Mhm.
that's it's very unnecessary because if your wife has that respect level for you, what you make, it doesn't even come into play. And that's a great question because a lot of people make things that are unnecessary big. They make things
Mhm.
that are small big, right?
Mhm.
Just like with COVID, when COVID came, all those divorces, right? The
Mm.
divorce rate went through the freaking roof, bro.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
can't even spend time with this person because
Mhm.
you in the house with this person. Oh, that's what caused the divorce because you're spending more time with them, right? So, but going back, it's the friendship thing, it's the respect level thing. So when I met my wife, she's making more. Um, but as long as I'm going to work, first of all, my ego, I don't give a shit how much more you making than me. I'm the man in my house.
That's how I
Period.
feel.
That's just that
Mhm.
that's just how I go. You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Now, if we don't agree right there, this ain't gonna work. Right? Now by you saying that, that responsibility is on you to take care of what you have to take care of, right?
Mhm.
Things need to be fixed. You do that. You have children. You maintain your household. You go to work every single day. You bust your butt. You have a great time. But when we get caught up in what society says
Mhm.
that we should be caught up on little shit that has no
That's the
bearing in
problem.
your household,
Right.
that's where we get caught up at. But as far as a woman making more than a man, just to get back to the question, it's no problem with that. It was one story, and then I'm gonna pass it off. It was one story where where a woman was an executive in a company. She worked her way up in a
Mhm.
company, and she started having a relationship with the maintenance guy, right? The maintenance guy. They're still married to this day. She's making umpteen amounts. So it's countless stories of people who didn't make it about outside things. Does this person make me feel complete? Does this person make me feel happy? Does this person make me feel whole? Does this person take care of our children? Is this person sincere? Do I trust this person? Yes, he fits all these boxes. I never worried about how much this man or this woman makes. Because if that's the case, men would have been divorcing women a lot of times because they was always dominating in the financial realm, right? But now I'm like, yo, I love for my wife to make a certain amount. That's fantastic. That works for me.
Mm-hmm.
That works for me. See, people who have a problem with that are people who have ego issues and that are insecure. You better make that shit work.
What you feel, AG?
Make that
Yep.
shit work. It's
Well, I
still going
mean,
to say bank account.
I'll tell you. Let me piggyback on what he said, because to your point, when I met my wife, she was making more than me, and that was like for as long as we've been together. Now I'm making more, and it's funny because all the times that she looked out when I was building, I'm making sure I pay her back one way, shape, or form, whether it be something like a bag, a designer bag that she's always wanted. I made sure that I got that for her. Like the vacations, just looking out, doing the extra things because she invested in me. And I'm an investment financial kind of guy. So if I invest, it's because you need to get some type of return on your investment. And I'm making sure that everything that she ever invested in me, she got back threefold. And that's why I make sure that, she trusts me enough to handle certain finances or certain investments, and they paid out 3,000%. So, I work hard for my wife. Another thing, to your point, the way you ended that, Trey, you got to start thinking hours. So even though I'm making more now, that ain't my money. It's our money. You dig what I'm saying? It ain't my investment. It's our investment, because now we have a family, and it's not only hers and mine, it's our children's, because this is something we're passing down. So like you said, as soon as you start paying attention to the outside world, that's when things go wrong. You got to keep your relationship, keep it private. And that's why a lot of people don't usually hear this type of conversation, because everybody keeps it, to the chest. But, absolutely, my wife made more than me, because like where I was in life, or my wife was in life when we met each other, was night and day. She was more serious, a great credit score, owned a home. There's so many things that she just had right that it motivates you to do these things. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So, and that's good, because now I motivate her to do things, and it's vice versa. You want to be with someone that's going to push you to be better. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to knock anyone that, let's say they have a situation where their wife stays at home, but they got to bring something to the table. You dig? Like if you have someone that's just going to take, that's all they're ever going to do. They're incapable of giving. And that's not a good relationship.
T Streets, do it matter to you?
Nah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I would say it's motivation. Similar to a lot of to y'all stories. If I'm the single one out of the group. If I met a woman that made more money than me, I've dated women that made more money than me. It's not a problem to me. I'm not insecure, at least not in that way. Everybody has some type of insecurities. I've never met a person that wasn't insecure about something. I'm not insecure about that. Rock out. If you make more than me, that's cool. I know who I am, and I know who I'm going to be, and I'm not going to let anybody make me feel less than just because I may not make as much money as them. So it doesn't matter to me. And the roles we were talking roles. I don't me myself, I don't know. I guess growing up in this day and age, I wouldn't say that there's specific roles. It's whatever works best for a household. So if one relationship does it one way, fine. Another relationship does it the traditional way, fine. I'm not against any type of roles, because one thing that I like to do that is I guess it fits under the woman's role, at least traditionally, is I like to do dishes.
Bro,
I'll do
I do
dishes.
dishes every
Right.
day.
So
Every day I do dishes, bro.
Likewise. Same.
So
every day.
Same. It's about cleanliness, bro.
Yeah, it's soothing though. It soothes me, bro.
It's therapeutic.
You know what I mean?
Fucking therapeutic.
It is therapeutic.
For sure.
Absolutely.
I cook
Good
and
point,
clean.
T.
Like I definitely cook and clean a lot.
It's nothing wrong with that.
I do that. Hey, you know what's funny? Hey, T, it's funny you say that because I be doing dishes like shit.
There it is.
I do though. You know that's one of my little tasks. Now I've been slacking. If you ask my wife this week, I have been slacking. But I'm saying overall though, I do some dishes. But what I want to say, y'all, do y'all want to do a part 2 maybe and kind of
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think so.
Wrap it up.
I think so.
Well, let me put on my theme music. Hold on, y'all. I got to put on theme music.
Do you think?
Yeah. Nah, we can still rap. I just want to.
Yeah, but no. This is good, man, because it's a lot of false misconceptions, right? Yep. With marriage, and then when you look at like the whatever this millennial, whatever this generation is called, it's a lot less marriages because it's a lot of outside shit that's determining the actual decision before you even go through with meeting the right person. Like it's crazy. You know what I mean? It's like you got all these rules, all that dumbass shit. Nobody care about that dumbass shit you talking about. Did you meet the right person yet? No.
Right.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
For sure, Trey. So I just want to thank everybody who tuned in, who is going to end up listening to the episode when it's published.
Yeah.
Like I always say, if you like what you hear, you always open to suggest topics. You can follow us on Instagram. The IG is Direct Room Pod. The pod is also available on Amazon Music. It's on YouTube. It's on Spotify. It's on Google. So you can get the pod in a variety of ways, man. And we're just appreciative of the listeners. We probably end up doing a part 2 of this. I don't know if it's going to be the next pod as the part 2.
Right.
But we're going to end up coming back to it at some point because we can talk all day about relationships and marriage, man. So
absolutely.
That's it, man. To the next time, unless fellas, y'all got something else to say.
Man, we out. We catch y'all. We catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
Take care, everyone. Peace.